Am I the butthole for pretending to be allergic to my in-laws' cooking so I don't have to eat it? Hey Reddit, I'm in a bit of a tricky spot and could really use some outside opinions. So, for some background, I 30M have been married to my wife, Rose 28F, for a few years now. We've got a solid relationship, but there's one issue that keeps coming up: her family's cooking, more specifically, my in-laws' cooking. Let me start by saying I'm not a picky eater at all. I can eat pretty much anything, and I try to be respectful when it comes to other people's food and traditions. But my in-laws, especially my mother-in-law, pride themselves on making these elaborate traditional dishes, and frankly, they're not good. The food is often way too greasy, overly salty, or just flat out unappetizing. I've tried to choke it down and be polite, but it's getting harder to keep pretending that I'm enjoying their cooking. The problem is, whenever I try to politely decline a meal or suggest that maybe we try something else, they guilt trip me. They go on and on about how this food is a family tradition, and how everyone who marries into the family should appreciate it. It's gotten to the point where I dread going over to their house for dinners because I know I'll be stuck eating food I can barely swallow. About 6 months ago, after one particularly rough family dinner where I had to force down a meal that was way too salty, I came up with a small lie. I told them I had developed a food allergy. I know it's not the most honest approach, but it seemed like the easiest way to avoid eating their food without hurting anyone's feelings. I claimed to be allergic to certain ingredients they use heavily in their cooking, like garlic and a few spices. Surprisingly, it worked like a charm. My mother-in-law started making special meals just for me, and I no longer had to choke down dishes I didn't like. For the first time in years, I could go to these family dinners without that sinking feeling in my stomach. I thought everything was fine until recently, when Rose found out about my so-called allergy. To say she was upset is an understatement. She thinks I should have been upfront about my dislike for her family's cooking from the start, and now she's worried that if they find out the truth, it'll cause a massive fallout. I get where she's coming from, but I honestly thought I was doing the right thing by not offending her family. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I figured this little lie would save me from awkward conversations or, worse, family drama. But now things are getting more complicated. My mother-in-law has started going out of her way to make dishes that are safe for me, even asking me for recipes and making substitutions to accommodate my allergy. I feel terrible every time she does this because she's putting in extra effort for a lie. Rose is adamant that I need to come clean, but I'm terrified of how her family will react. They're incredibly proud of their cooking, and I'm sure they'll take it as a personal attack if they find out I've been avoiding their food. To make matters worse, her family already thinks I'm a bit distant because I don't rave about their meals like the rest of them do. If I admit that I've been lying about an allergy, I feel like I'll completely alienate myself from them. I also don't want to embarrass Rose or cause tension between her and her family. So, Reddit, am I the butthole for faking an allergy to avoid my in-laws' cooking? Should I have just been honest from the start? Or is it better to keep this lie going to avoid the inevitable drama that will follow if they find out? I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I'm not sure what the right move is here. Looking forward to your thoughts.